Were you ripped from the womb of your mother and transported into the belly of a cow with dark magic? Did you realize at 12 that you psychically communicate with animals? Did you leer at topless slave girls bathing in a waterfall and then use your mastery of beasts to try to trick one of those slave girls into being into you? If so, you must have stumbled into the Unkind Rewind, where we just watched the cult cable staple of the 80s and 90s, the 1982 Don Coscarelli Loinclothapalooza, the Beastmaster.
Get to the chopper!
You know what you are? You're one of those little fancy lads, aren't you?
Link and I are cruising the mountain, bro. And we figure we'd squeeze a little juice.
Greetings, listeners. I'm Josh Dugan, coming to you from St. Paul, where I've been trying my damnedest to open up a channel of communication with my downstairs neighbor's dog. Joining me from Nueva York is my co-host, Sean McGrath. Have you been fitted for your banana hammock and leather hula skirt, Sean?
I got both of those taken care of, and then I went to Times Square and found out that I was sorely in the midst of a lot of competition. So, whether it was guys in guitars or just guys doing kind of street performance,
Did you oil up?
I haven't oiled up yet. No.
Okay.
You gotta oil up.
Yeah, you gotta oil
I
up.
gotta go back. I just think that if once you're oiled up, you go back in there and just the things that adhere to the skin. Oh,
Well, that's why you don't wear anything that would adhere to skin.
you just need
Just
a
the loincloth.
you just need a
That's why, yeah.
scrub daddy after
I
after
feel
that
like
day.
yeah, one thing I learned from this movie was you gotta oil up.
Oh, yeah. This week we're joined by our special guest, who has not seen this film since his youth, coming to us from Milwaukee, Jeremy Steen. Jeremy, why don't you tell the audience who fucked up and didn't tune into last week's pre-interview a little bit about yourself?
First off, I believe I will call you Kodo, and I will
Okay.
call you Podo.
Nice.
Right.
Thanks.
That won't get confusing.
Yeah, it should be pretty clear. Yeah, I'm just some fucking dude. Yeah, known Josh for forever. And this is my first time meeting Sean, which is cool. I think I'm the first guest that's maybe actually heard the podcast, which is
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
yeah. So
for sure.
I have kind of I know what I'm getting into
Okay.
to some degree.
Yeah.
I really want to see Night of the Creeps now.
Yeah.
You
I
should.
can send you the link. It's fun.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds awesome.
It's on archive.org, listeners. It's
Oh.
very easy to search Night of the Creeps on archive.org, and you can find it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I write stuff. I used to play a lot of music, and I don't so much anymore because it's a pain in the ass.
You so you wrote a piece in the Oxford American last year.
Yeah. That's kind of the biggest thing I've done, which was really, really cool. I wrote the pitch thinking there's absolutely no way they would accept it because the idea was not exactly highbrow for their
Sure.
typical output. But yeah, it was about the trials and tribulations of being an extra in the Terrence Malick movie Song to Song, which is
Very bad.
yeah. I mean, my thing with movies, especially these days, is I go into them with love in my heart.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, I want to love, and that movie makes me hate
It's very
It's
easy
like-
to hate that movie. Yeah.
almost.
This is when we
nothing.
talk about bad Malik and good Malik. This movie might come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But you also just had a series of short fiction pieces that were at Rejoinder Mag, right?
Yeah, my friend, a friend of mine has a literary journal called The Rejoinder, and you all should support it. It's like as independent as it gets. It's a true labor of love, and they were kind enough to solicit me, and they published an excerpt from this. I'm calling it a novel. It's like kind of it's just this thing I've been working on for a long time, and it's like yeah, a novel comprised of very, very short pieces that usually involve some sort of evil deeds by the I don't know. I guess it's vaguely conspiratorial.
Well, yeah, it's political too.
Yeah, I call it like a Quantum Leap if Don DeLillo was the showrunner and Dennis Johnson's fuckhead was the main protagonist.
So easy to follow.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone's interested in that out there, and
The links will be in the show notes.
get at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and absolutely for publishers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were in bands also. You were a touring musician for a while.
Yeah, that's how I ended up in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was from touring with various groups and coming here often. And this place has a very kind music scene. So I just developed a love for this place. So relocated here from first North Carolina, then where my home of homes is Austin, Texas, which that place has turned into a true nightmare factory. So
Yep.
I'm glad.
But they're gonna
there
get the
more.
eclipse, Jeremy.
Cool.
They're gonna get total blackout.
Yeah, I think it's already been a total blackout there, just of a different kind.
Yeah.
A blackout of the soul, if you will.
I would love to hear both you guys kind of wax poetic about that. Having lived there in kind of good Austin years.
It feels like every pre-interview that I do with somebody who left Austin ends up being that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not to plug myself again. That sounds weird. I'm going to plug myself here live.
You're going to replug yourself.
Yes, I'm replugging into my body. Yeah, that essay I wrote has it definitely circles this topic a bit.
Yeah, the Malik one.
Yeah. It's pretty grim. I was just in Austin last month. And it was fucking awful. Everyone's just like so miserable, and rightfully so.
But don't they need good people like you to come down there and right the ship?
You can't win, man. It sucks. The worst thing about it is like the amount of like incredibly wealthy, like startup money type people that move there, and then you'll be at a restaurant and you'll just like hear them complain and say it's like they're like, God, this place sucks. Like, there's nothing to do. Blah. And then it's like, dude, it sucks because you came here and ruined it.
Yeah.
Like, and then my friend who was he does like a lot of commercial work doing like he's an electrician on film sets, and he was telling me that like the like Jacob's Well and like a lot of the like swimming holes have just been like completely like irreparably destroyed by just like overuse and people being assholes when they're
As
there.
a former Portland, Oregon resident, I feel I can empathize a little bit with tech people and tech bros and tech money coming into your town. That's not
It kills culture.
remotely fit or able to accommodate a population increase like that.
Yeah, it's definitely very similar. Portland, San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco's patient zero, and we've all just been sort of
infected.
Yeah. But I do think it's very funny that like with how regressive Texas government is, that all those people and companies that have moved there, they're like, wait a second, like now like you'll get your like right arm cut off if you get an abortion, or like, I don't know, they're gonna just start executing people at the border. They're like, and like, home values are all fucked up there now. It's like this perfect storm of just disaster.
There might be an antidote to what we're talking about right now, and it's probably leather, oil, communicating with animals.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say the neutron bomb, but
is there any way that we have something that we could all talk about, guys, the three of us, that might be able to turn these frowns upside down?
Let's think about that real quick.
So, as I discussed in the pre-interview with Jeremy last week, I had not seen this since at least the mid 90s and probably earlier.
And I was a Beastmaster virgin.
You'd never seen it.
Never saw it.
You grew up with cable, right?
Here and there. It showed up, depending on how well Dad was doing down at the plant.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I mean, I know of it, of course. I mean, the legend of Beastmaster far exceeds like the actual viewership of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But this was brand new, so I got to thank Jeremy for this one. Maybe Jeremy, it's possible It's possible that without you, I would have never seen Beastmaster.
Oh, I guess I can really go to sleep tonight feeling like I contributed.
I feel like you should get a residual check.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I promise you that it would have come up on, I think it was on another one of the prospective guests lists, but
Jeremy stole it. Jeremy got there first. This was his first round draft pick, and he nailed it.
Should I just speak my bank account information into the microphone?
Yeah. Well,
and you guys can.
It wouldn't be the first time that we GoFundMe one of the guests.
Yeah. Anyway, so at the very onset of the pre-interview last week, you said, and I quote, "I thought it was so fucking cool back then." How do you feel about young Jeremy's cool meter, having rewatched The Beastmaster yesterday, I believe?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. There were definitely elements of the plot that, like, I think I forgot as I was watching them. But whatever. That's not what we're here for.
No.
I think young Jeremy was 100% on point. This movie is cool.
Right. You want to hang out with that kid?
No. But I just don't think he was wrong about this one particular thing.
So I asked you to briefly recount what you thought the basic plot of the film was, and you started to answer and then fessed up to the fact that, well, you have some pretty prominently featured artwork related to this film in your house. So I'm going to throw to that clip right here. Give me just 1 second.
It's funny, this didn't come up in our little conversation before we started recording, but just so you can see what I'm looking at here, that is a Beastmaster poster. A very good friend of mine bought me a Beastmaster poster because he knew I had talked about it a lot as being a movie that was like weirdly formative that I have no recollection of. And I was getting a bunch of other stuff framed at the time because I was in this phase where I was like, I'm not going to be a loser punk rocker and just put stuff up with thumbtacks anymore. I'm a grown up. So I just sort of took it to the framing shop. And then when I got it back, I looked at it. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, why do I have a framed Beastmaster poster now? And I've just like never been able to I'm not going to get rid of it. But I like every time I hang it up in a new place, I'm like, okay, like this is what people are going to see and think that I'm like the Beastmaster guy. So, but I do think the tagline is hilarious. It's born with the courage of an eagle, the strength of a black tiger, and the power of a god, which it has like a sort of like Ubermensch.
He is blonde.
Yes, he is blonde.
Yes, very quite.
Does rewatching this make you more on board with being the Beastmaster guy, Jeremy?
No. No. I mean, I'm looking at the poster again right now.
Yeah, do you want to show the audience? It's
there it is. Yep.
That's original, huh?
I guess so.
It looks it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, because like I guess when I was reading the Wikipedia entry for this, and it's sword and sorcery is the genre, and that's about the thing I care the least about in the world of entertainment. So, but whatever, man.
Are there other movies in that genre that you like, whether today or back then?
I was thinking Excalibur would be. I don't know if anyone's kicked that around for.
Yeah, that's been suggested. We haven't done it, but that was on Chad Burns' list. Chad Burns has a fucking Excalibur tattoo.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He just got a serious. Well, he had just watched it again because we didn't choose it.
He got a tattoo of Mordred.
Yeah.
From with the mask, Arthur's illegitimate
If you watch
son.
the YouTube episode, if you watch the YouTube episode, we get a picture of it in the episode.
He looks like a cherub, sort of.
Yeah, he's very young. It's the golden mask.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a teardrop tattoo or engraved in the mask or something like that. There's something like haunting and scary about it.
He got this tattooed on his face, is what?
Yes, it's over his face. It's over his face.
He got a tattoo of a face on his face.
I think it's on his leg. I think
it's on his calf. It's pretty badass.
That's really
wild.
Fucking cool.
That movie. I mean, speaking of things that you shouldn't see when you're a little kid,
I saw that in school.
What?
Yeah. We had to get our. we had to like have a waiver signed, but I saw Excalibur in sophomore English.
Good Lord.
We should I have a lot to say about that, but we should probably save it for
Yes,
the,
yeah,
the definitely forthcoming episode.
absolutely happening at some point.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Excalibur in at least.
I have some very
25 years.
specific images from that movie that I should probably not have in my head.
Yeah,
But, but there you go.
So you recounted after the poster reveal, you recounted the plot thusly. I'm going to kick to the clip again.
Oh boy.
So yeah, my recollections of the plot though, there's a guy who looks like he works out a lot. He's friends with animals.
Yeah.
They hang out. There's an evil guy that's like a wizard or something. And I remember there's a scene where there's like, a woman tied to a slab and he's like gonna cut her up. And then the Beastmaster uses his little ferret friends to fuck that guy's plans up.
Okay.
I think that's all I got.
That's fine. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So having just seen this again for the first time in 25, 30 years, what story element surprised you the most?
Dude, those bird guys that like hug
Yeah.
people. That was
And
I didn't
turn them
remember.
into goo and bones?
Yeah, that was extremely weird.
Uh-huh.
And I was reading the Wikipedia entry right before we got on this, and I thought I was paying attention to this movie, but I didn't realize they became his friend because of the eagle.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, so that's why they like the Beastmaster. I don't know if I fully follow that even still.
It was basically the entirety of their bond was signified in essentially a head nod.
Yes.
It's basically like I get you head nod.
He was this close to slaying most of them before they eventually overtook him. And they have these body condoms. Like, it's hard to really describe what these people look like to people who haven't seen Beastmaster. You could be like, oh, the bird people, but
it's the full body condom
with
in
wings.
Naked Gun. It was 2.5.
Yeah,
It has a
It
full
might have
body
been-
condom.
might have
That's
been
the first one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's the first one. I just watched that.
They have these kind of mouseless masks, very latexy,
It's like
And-
like Spawn face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
but they look like kind of walking phalluses until they extend their kind of bat-like or bird-like wings.
Your
They will-
dick doesn't have wings like that?
Not anymore.
Hey.
Okay.
Circumcised. So then they ensnare you, they wrap you up in their wings, and then they kind of gooify you, kind of.
Yeah.
They like it was made me think of a Deep Rising, is it, where the monsters drink their their victims.
Mhm.
I don't know if they were how in what way they are consuming.
It's a little bit like
Their prey.
like Cronenberg's The Fly, where you kind of like regurgitate
Mhm.
and acidify the what you're gonna eat.
Or maybe Assify, honestly.
Yeah, it could be.
Mhm.
But yeah, very strange
Assholeify.
creature.
Yeah.
So that didn't really that wasn't a part of your memory. You didn't have the bird people poster as well.
No, unfortunately not. I didn't have that variant.
They conveniently left those off the poster.
I only have one Beastmaster poster, guys. Come on.
Are all of his creatures on that poster? Like the tiger,
No.
the ferrets, the eagle?
You cannot see Kodo and Podo, which I think is a real shame.
They should be front and center. Like they should be
yeah.
jumping out of the poster at you.
Oh, I just realized that it's got, you know what I didn't remember from before, but what came back to me was that fucking ring, the eyeball ring.
Uh-huh.
I find that really unsettling for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's really
Like,
gross.
And then especially when they like poke it out with the,
Mhm.
it's nasty.
Did anything else come rushing back to you?
No comment. No, I honestly wait. And Tanya Roberts, she's in that 70s show. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Donna's mom.
I mean,
She's also Sheena.
I've never seen that. Yeah.
Okay. Basically this character again. But she can talk to the animals.
And she
Oh,
was
cool.
she was a Bond girl. She was officially
Yeah.
a
A
Bond
view
girl.
to a kill. She was the main loving.
Probably the most eyes she's ever had, probably in terms of a role.
Although
Nice.
Beastmaster's probably been watched by more people than
By at least more teenage boys.
Absolutely,
Yeah. I mean, this is PG.
Sure is. I mean, it's 2 years before the advent of PG-13, but
I see.
yeah,
Because it's not what we would consider PG
no,
by any standard today.
But it was still treated like it was rated PG by HBO. So this was one of the sources of daytime nudity on HBO. It was, this, just one of the guys, a few other shows, but this was one of the shows that if you were at a friend's house as a teenage boy, you knew you could get something extra at 3 p.m.
We should point out that HBO sometimes was called Hey Beastmaster is on.
I saw that.
And TBS is called the Beastmaster Station.
The HBO one is a hilarious Dennis Miller joke.
Well, I've seen people like sort of be a little contentious about that actually being Dennis Miller. Like,
wait, people fight over who had that
Well,
joke?
no, that like he said it, but that he probably didn't coin it because he ripped off his whole shtick as Josh Belzer.
Oh, okay. And Leary ripped off Bill Hicks, right?
Well, Leary ripped off everybody, but
he actually
Bill
like
Hicks,
he dressed and
the cancer
cigarette jokes and
and
he dressed like him anyway.
I'm an asshole is actually ripped off from Louis C.K.
What?
The song, the idea for the song is ripped off from a Louis C.K. joke.
That's what a tangled web we weave.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, sorry. Were you surprised that you didn't remember more when trying to recall the plot?
I mean, it's been
like
so
watching,
long.
Now that you've rewatched it, were you like, oh, it's weird that I didn't remember that?
No, I mean, it had just been so long. I was surprised I remembered as much as I did. I forgot what Rip Torn's nose looks like, which is very strange.
Yeah, maybe we talk about that just because we're coming off the heels of Maestro, but it definitely had Bradley Cooper makeup.
Yeah, trust me, I have the Maestro note. Like the weird, at least Maestro is like more passively anti-Semitic with the nose. This is
pretty brazen.
This sorcerer is a very bad guy who wants to sacrifice children and wants to do like all of these terrible things.
Yeah.
Not the best thing to do. And like Rip Torn is saying, Rip Torn apparently is playing a turkey vulture. But
wait, like
that's
Foghorn Leghorn, or wait.
Well, he's like his conception of the character of Mayax is a
hilarious name
that he's
also.
playing. Yeah, he's playing a turkey vulture. So I guess that's why the nose, but the nose does not read turkey vulture. It reads anti-Semitic.
You didn't need it with his performance and how they kind of gussied him up, makeup and costume wise. You didn't really need the prosthetic there for Rip Torn.
His eyebrows alone sort of took care of it. I would say,
especially in that profile shot when they're facing off with King Zed, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
it's
like,
a beat, man.
Let's go a little less putty, maybe on the screen test.
See, I was like, I took it less as anti-Semitic, and more. I was like, is he supposed to be like? Is he going to turn out to be like half bird? Like, is he?
Well, he is eventually, thwarted by the Ubermensch, as you mentioned, Jeremy.
Indeed.
So
yeah, well, I guess at least they didn't make him like the town's like banker or something. Would have been probably
yeah. He doesn't
too far.
He does not seem to check that box of the anti-Semitic playbook.
But he's sacrificing children.
I know.
He is. He's not eating them like some propaganda probably depicted in the 40s. But
yeah. That scene definitely came back to me pretty hard. When he throws the kid in.
Oh yeah, that first sacrifice is like holy smokes!
And he's got the kid by his leg, and he's like, it doesn't look safe. I don't think you would see that in a movie today. Yeah, I don't think you'd see an actor hold a child like that.
No. There'd be multiple people on set saying this can't happen unless it was on the set of a Dan Schneider show.
I would say that the kid who is able to kind of hold on, who is saved from sacrifice, should be a professional rock climber, because that little girl,
Yeah.
her grips, holy smokes, on that slanted slab of rock. She holds out a long time. Was it the eagle that saves her?
I think
Yeah,
so.
the eagle does. Yeah.
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 Uh,
So towards the end of our talk, we offhandedly referred to this as a budget Conan, but Conan, sorry. This was actually in production at basically the same time as Conan the Barbarian. It came out 3 months after, but like they were shooting at the same time. So it's not quite as much a knockoff as I think people generally assume. But now
That would not have been PG.
the first
Conan?
Conan, no,
Conan, no.
yeah. No, that was a hard R.
Hard R. Yep.
Yeah,
Hard.
and that also had 14-year-old nudity. That's gross.
Ah,
Oh, really?
Jesus.
Didn't it? What wasn't that with either Olivia Diabo? I think.
Oh, okay.
all
Future
right.
episode.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen. I hope we don't have a sword and sorcery season, though. I don't want to.
Yeah. We'll have to break it
That'd
up.
be pretty rough.
Oh. So, to the question of how old were you when this was a fixture of your youth, you responded.
My brother is he's 8.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So like a lot of my formative stuff was showed to me by him.
Sure.
So there's a pretty much a 100% chance that he showed me this movie probably when I was, who knows? I could have been 4 years old.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember if we had it on VHS. I know like the main VHS I remember was Ghostbusters. I know we had that, but we had like only a few others. We didn't have a ton of movies, but this could have been one of them. And I also remember watching it at my best friend's house, who was like, we were best friends, I think, up until I started like kindergarten. So this was like a family friend that we like spent every day together from like 2 to 8 years old or something. So yeah, that was very formative time.
Okay. So you're pretty sure that neither of your parents were responsible for showing you this film, Jeremy? Were they not sword and sorcery fans?
Not at all. And yeah, my mom, like, I had like, hippies in recovery type parents, they were like trying to be, they tried to enter the straight world at the point that I'd come along. And so they get weirdly like uptight about certain stuff. So like my mom blocked, like when we would have cable sort of sporadically, never HBO ever. But she would block MTV because she just like saw one like rap video, freaked out.
Would you say that it was more the objectification of women, the violence, or language? Like, what was the pie chart on what they were trying to save you from?
For my mom, it was definitely the objectification of women and the violence. She would not have been down with this, but I think that it snuck in because it was on TBS so much.
Yeah.
So you saw an edited version before you saw the real deal?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It's possible because I did not remember the nudity.
Right. Which you would have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's possible you wouldn't have if you didn't see it after like 8.
Right. Yeah, because it's sort of played as like being kind of just incidental to the scene.
Yeah. And if you're watching on like an old fucking shitty 19-inch color TV, like it's possible. I mean, unlikely, but it's possible that it wouldn't have registered to you. But anyway. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how preoccupied was 4 to 8-year-old Jeremy with concerns about the following issues? Hordes of marauders.
Like how was that?
How concerned were you about hordes of marauders as
like in my personal life?
Yeah, in your personal life, were you looking out for hordes of marauders?
I'd give that like a 3. That wasn't. I wasn't too freaked out about that.
Okay, what about quicksand?
Oh, it's fucking like 10.
Okay,
quicksand. This is one of those movies
that
exacerbated the fears of quicksand for any child of the 80s or 90s.
Yeah,
Never Ending Story, I guess, is the big one. But yeah, even today watching that scene, I was like, ugh. Like when Kodo or Poto falls into it, I was like, damn, that sucks.
At least you got a name from it.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
What was the do we know who the animal handler was on this thing? Because those ferrets go through some shit.
Yeah.
So they initially, Coscarelli had met with a handler that he was very into and that had a panther. And then the producers, it's what, Leisure
The name's
Entertainment
hilarious.
Group or whatever. It's some hilarious
Leisure Investment Company.
Yes,
Very
Leisure
sketchy
Investment
names.
Company. They're a European investor apparently. And
They 100% also dealt in arms and probably like
yeah.
human trafficking and drugs.
Yeah, they went
They're-
and had a
they're
different
in OPEC.
sketchier. They had a different sketchier animal training company that they went with, and because of this, on Mark Singer's first day on set, it was the day with the Russian bear, and not Oleg Tatarov, Sean. But they the first day that he was on set, it was the day with the bear where young Dar, who's Billy Jacoby here, but he later was Billy Jane, and he was of course Mikey on Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which is like the best show ever.
Way over my head.
But so he it was the scene with the kid and where young Dar realizes that he can communicate with the bear and gets him to like chill the fuck out. But when they let the bear out, the bear attacked the trainer. And everyone on set ran for the fucking hills, like locked themselves in trailers. And so the trainer ended up like once the bear was sort of corralled, the trainer ended up having to go to the hospital. So
Oh shit.
Bears got a bear sometimes, guys.
bear's got a bear.
I'm just glad people bled for the Beastmaster.
And that was like the only working bear in Hollywood at the time.
This was before Bart, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
who would later have a hell of a run.
In the bear, yeah. In the bear and the one with
Legends of the Fall.
Wait, he plays Jeremy Allen White in the
yes, yeah.
Hulu series?
Yeah, he's
So the bear
quite the career.
that was
Yeah.
in the bear, the Edge,
Yeah, the Edge was the one I was thinking.
and Legends of the Fall later went on to play a chef on Hulu's The Bear.
Nice.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, has anyone done that sketch with just a bear in a kitchen? Because I would fucking kill to see that.
Especially if you could do it with a live bear
Yeah, you'd have to do it with a live bear.
and
No,
having somebody yell, cousin.
That'd be, yeah, come on, Saturday Night Live, do it.
It's
They
funny,
don't have
so
the
they won't.
balls.
No, it's a funny idea, which means I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, they'll just have Trump on again.
Let him whitewash his myriad heinous things he's done and said.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What?
Thank you, NBC.
Now back to your preoccupied, your concerns as a child. How concerned were you about ritual sacrificing of children?
I mean, it had to be pretty high. I don't remember having like any nightmares about it, but that scene, even now, I was like, holy shit! Like they just throw that kid in a bonfire, like or whatever you would call that, in a fire pit.
A pyre.
Yeah, and they don't even like he doesn't stop to think. He doesn't really. He's just like whoop, So I think that would have been concerning for sure.
Yeah. What about sorcerers?
I think I really just wanted to be one, so I wasn't that
Okay.
worried about. I figured
Okay.
I was like, if I ran into one, I figure in that reality I would probably also be one, and I'd be able to take care of myself.
Okay. Last one. Transference of unborn children through the dark arts into bovine bellies.
That's a wild one, isn't it?
With zero explanation.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
be more concerned with how easy it is for old witches and cows to make it through, I don't know, like a king's castle into his bedroom?
You'd think.
She's just there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to fire all your guards the next day.
Every last one.
Yeah, they definitely whiffed that pretty hard. I
kind of a cool effect.
Yeah.
I just feel like, what is Coscarelli's brain like?
You're seeing it.
I guess, yeah, we're like, there's a true window into.
Yeah.
I was also interested looking at the Wikipedia page. It had like he just like completely rewrote this like based on some novel. So like,
Well, it was like okay, so the novel, it was just the concept was that the person could talk to, it could control animals, but it was like in the future, and it was like because of chips and shit.
yeah, it was like a
Um,
Navajo
yeah,
warrior or something.
yeah, but it was a like futuristic sci-fi thing, and he took it back to the Bronze Age.
And
She
what?
actually disowned it, like she wanted her name taken off of this.
Yeah.
She was like, "This is nothing like my. This
What are
just takes
the
a concept of a person being able to control animals."
what are the odds of the cow birth being in the novel? What do you think?
100%.
Yeah, I mean
That's the
like,
only thing that's true to the
it's
original.
the most enduring part of the.
It's also in about
lore.
50% of organized religions too.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Uh,
What do you think young Jeremy made of topless slave girls frolicking in waterfalls?
I mean,
Or do you think you only saw the
know?
TV edit?
I mean, I don't remember. I really feel like I would remember seeing that. Uh, and also because like the friend's house where I probably watched this, his parents were also really strict. So I think the odds are I saw the edited version. But either way, I mean, Roberts looks great, you know.
Oh yeah,
As
no
does I just watched the Roadhouse remake.
completely clad. Roberts looks great.
Yeah.
yes.
But I just watched the Roadhouse remake, and it's like, you know, everyone's flipping over how Jake Gyllenhaal looks in that. And I'm like, man, Mark Singer looks insane in this.
Yeah.
Like when he vaults over the gate at the end, I'm like, dude, he just like it just looks like he just like boop pops over. I was like, it's wild. Good
I
for
think in
him.
my mind I had Singer. We should maybe talk about him for a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think in my mind the Beastmaster was bigger, but he's a
Me
bit more
too.
lithe. He's certainly ripped.
Yeah.
Right. I thought he
But
was like Schwarzenegger.
He is like a 0.5% body fat.
Yeah.
I wonder if they took some liberties with, say, the poster or the box art, right?
Oh,
to,
right.
To bulk him up a little bit.
Because of Conan.
Maybe because of Conan, but
I'm
maybe
sure
just
it's because of Conan.
to give him a little bit of help. Because I think I expected a much bigger guy.
Right.
This guy feels like I don't know like a swimmer body or like a he's
Or like a
closer-
light heavyweight UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Like there's
closer to,
no fat on this body.
he's a middleweight probably.
Yeah.
closer to Bruce Lee than Arnold Schwarzenegger or something.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
He
more
just-
muscle mass than Bruce Lee, but yeah, definitely like more in the like it's a more usable muscle mass.
oh, listen to us just go on and on about this dude's rocking.
Well,
bod.
let's talk about him oiled up.
Well, let's talk about him just as an actor. Like what was your takeaway from this guy?
Well, you know that he is Laurie Singer's older brother, right?
I did not know that.
Oh, he's Laurie Singer's brother.
That's crazy.
Which is nuts. Like of fucking Footloose and the Shortcuts.
Yeah.
He's also
genes.
Bryan Singer's cousin, which is more
Wow.
problematic.
Really?
But the weird thing is, like, he grew up.
I wonder if
he was
he,
born in Vancouver and grew up in Corpus. So, like, it's not like he's coming from some like Hollywood royalty family. You know, it's not like Cole Hauser or something where Cole Hauser's Winghauser's kid and fucking Wingshauser married the daughter of one of the Warner brothers. So,
Do you,
like,
do you think Mark Singer had some personal experience to draw from his cousin with the child sacrifice?
Probably, yeah. Or Brian's, you know, obviously like way younger, and so Brian actually probably learned a thing or two about child sacrifice from Beastmaster. So maybe
He was on
has a
set
dark
that day.
legacy.
We are over the heads of about 95% of the people like listening to this right now.
Well, they come here to learn, don't they?
Look up Brian Singer and Me Too. Yeah, what
and
a
then
fucking monster.
have a cup of tea and an hour or two to spend on that.
Yeah. What do you think young Jeremy thought of writhing and gyrating hot-bodied witches in pasties and G-strings working the cauldron with hideous faces?
Dude, that was upsetting. That makeup was.
You sounded like you were freestyling there, Josh. That was a little 8 Mile.
Yeah, that was cool. Throw a beat behind that.
That is an interesting. I mean,
Because they are hot-bodied.
yeah, they're definitely
Yes.
hot body, but what a great reveal. Even with the kind of makeup budget that we've already talked about being a little suspect, When they kind of turn that great turn to
Well, it's such a like trauma to
Max.
your erection.
It is a splash of cold water.
It's like Sean getting his bat wings removed. Or whatever. I didn't really expect you to say trauma to the erection just now, but there's a lot of truth in that statement. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just spit the truth, man.
Yeah. No, I didn't like that very much.
I wonder if you're one of the actors hired on to do that.
Oh,
Like,
God.
are you a little bit saved by the fact that no one's going to really recognize you? Or do you realize like, oh, I've been cast as one of the hot-bodied witches. They're going to completely douse me in latex makeup. You're not going to be able to see me. Therefore, I'm not going to be able to use this in any kind of resume building.
But instead, the audience at home is like wondering whether or not you're actually wearing a G-string because like it feels like you're seeing full-on unencumbered ass from behind and maybe tits because it's very darkly lit.
Yeah.
And it's nuts how scantily clad these writhing witches are and how like they can pass for like nude and you're not sure.
They're wearing more clothes than half the men.
But they're the clothes are just like two just like long draped like thin like not wide pieces of cloth that when you're moving around at the cauldron like they are swinging to and fro and letting all of your bits hang out.
Yeah, I definitely think that were many young boys that were like, oh, here we go. And then the face reveal probably, there's probably some like weird, psychological, sexual crossing of streams going on there that did some damage to.
So there was a TNT programming director in 1993 who insisted that The Beastmaster was the second most popular movie to air on the network.
Oh yeah.
I am, after Gone with the Wind, I am 95% sure that it's because of scenes like that would make it through the censors.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about Mark Singer before. Basically any time he was talking to the animals, I was like dying. I like when he like like calls to the eagle.
Oh God, when he
like,
squawks at the eagle, it's amazing.
Oh, and whenever he's like holding the ferrets and like talking into their faces, I was like, dude, he's killing it right now.
It would have been so easy for them to add something in post that sounded a bit more realistic for when he talked to his eagle.
But
I'm sure that
it wouldn't have been as fun.
I'm sure that they told Mark Singer like it doesn't matter. Hey,
we're gonna fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll just put something. We'll put like a screech over it. Like
instead, it's just him.
It's like the worst Chewbacca impression.
Dude, I think it's great.
I think like that's something that like I couldn't really understand, like the actual power, right?
Yeah.
Like we're a little murky here on what he can really do. Sure. He has sometimes the vision. He didn't have ferret vision, I don't think.
He didn't have ferret vision, but I think
which would have been really helpful a couple times. Yeah. But also he's constantly up against adversaries on horses.
Right.
Aren't horses beasts?
I have that in my notes for sure.
Right? Like
why can't he control these horses?
Even as a kid, I think if I saw this back then, I would wonder why just have them all ride over a cliff.
Like, there's got to be a better way.
Take the sacrifice, or have them run up to a cliff and then hit the brakes.
Yeah,
and have every rider
the guy off. Yeah,
flail over the side.
No, yeah. So, go for it.
Oh, I was maybe one of my criticisms would be I wanted maybe even more interaction with him and the animals. Like
I agree.
I felt like there was like especially with that's the spray painted tiger, which is another thing.
Is this the first instance of a tiger doing blackface in cinema?
First but not the last.
That poor tiger. Let's we got to get him ready for the Holiday Inn scene.
So they used 4 tigers. The main one is Kipling.
Okay.
Okay.
I get it.
Got it.
And so they dyed the tigers, but anytime the tiger would take like a drink or anything, the like dye around the mouth would go. So like there's natural inconsistencies throughout the film as to how much of the tiger's face is
Yeah, and
dyed.
So stupid.
all felines, big cats, small
Yeah.
cats, clean
They lick-
themselves
yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
They're constantly grooming their faces, so I can imagine it would be just a pain in the ass to constantly have to not even probably be the handler, but be in the makeup department.
Yeah.
Having to like slow.
Well, there's a whole tiger makeup department.
There has
Oh,
to.
yeah, there
Yeah,
has to
there
be.
has to
This-
be like a platoon of.
This was the beginning of it.
How many
because-
PAs do you think got eaten?
Prior to
Three.
this,
Yeah.
or at least swiped, at least
Yeah.
maybe bit here and there. But
They wouldn't let any kids be on set when the tiger was on set.
Honestly, surprising that they took that precaution.
It was always a short person, a little person stunt double.
I found it shocking that this movie was filmed in the United States.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
How is that possible? This feels like a movie that was shot like in a Latvian country with a lot of
Mhm.
loose regulations where they're able to get kind of nice picturesque views. I mean, we did see a couple times certainly where they're using a scrim. They're using some
Mhm.
type of shitty matte painting
Mhm.
with the village, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe the temple, but for the most part, I mean, they're just out in San Bernardino or wherever.
So
right?
it's they filmed at the Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada, and then in Simi Valley and in Ventura County in the National Forest at Lake Piru. And Lake Piru is the lake that Harrison Ford crashed his plane to in 1991
Nice.
or 1999 rather, and it's the lake where Naya Rivera drowned in 2020. Naya Rivera from Glee, she drowned in Lake Piru. The interiors were shot at the MGM UA lot. So,
Yeah. Well, like this is.
but yeah, this is in California mostly.
I'm probably giving away more about myself than I should, but I've been recently watching the television program Yellowstone because my curiosity got the best of me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of amazing.
I'm
just
watching the
like-
newest season, and it's very bad.
But the thing about that show that it gives it some credibility is that so much of it, at least as far as I can tell, is shot on location.
It's all shot
And
on location.
It seems like that show is like single-handedly keeping like all the animal wranglers in Hollywood employed. Like there's so much like I just the
well,
way
they're all Tyler Sheridan's horses.
what? Really?
They're all sorry, Taylor. They're all Taylor Sheridan's horses.
But there's also like the bear and like
yeah.
there's so much the way that CGI is overused now. Like you just sort of have to like that's why I think watching the Beastmaster like it was still compelling even when it's like really stupid just because like that tiger nuzzles a ferret at the end and that's like,
they were
that's
so
crazy
they were
looking.
so scared that they basically never had the tiger and the ferret on set at the same time because they were
wonder
afraid
why.
that the tiger would kill the ferrets. And there
Well,
were like
eagle
20,
too.
25 ferrets. The eagle is a whole different thing. So the tiger, they didn't let the tiger and ferrets be on set. And then they're like up on the rock and he has the ferrets and the tiger's up there and the tiger's like chained up. But they're just like, let's try this shot. They tried it once and they both sniff each other out. And it's like the best moment in the movie, probably.
when it happened, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Jesus. The eagle was so uncooperative that they were having to like take it up in a fucking helium balloon and drop it out of a basket to make it fly because it just wouldn't fucking fly. And it fucking when he was doing the sword scene and the eagle swoops by, the eagle comes back and fucking like with its talon like rips a line down fucking Mark Singer's back. Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah. The eagle did not like him.
I mean, it doesn't seem like. Yeah, it seems like a very, very difficult shoot. You add even the poor dog, it was in a lot of peril. And that dog does not get enough credit for pulling the Beastmaster to safety after I think being shot with arrows.
And pulled him a long way.
Yeah. Has
A
an arrow
long
sticking
way.
out of its side.
Yeah. Props to the dog that does not get the proper credit of all the beasts in this movie.
And thankfully did not die because you can see it breathing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how you would.
How do you tell a dog to not breathe for this shot?
Well, how do you do that? But I mean, how would you do? it boggles my mind that this movie was filmed in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's is it like not Milo and Otis, but one of those
Homeward Bound?
No, it's one of maybe it is Milo and Otis, but I guess it was shot in Japan where they had really I think it's an apocryphal story where they're just like for every take, they were just like throwing cats down a waterfall. Which is like really grim, but they're like, yeah, didn't get the shot.
So you opined about not really liking lore, which largely turns you off from the fantasy genre in general. Did the Beastmaster manage to not step over the too much lore line for you?
I don't know. It's so incoherent that I kind of just passed me by. I do have in my notes for some reason Denis Villeneuve's The Beastmaster. I mean, if he's gonna keep reviving IP, like why not? Why not give us like
and I think something fun.
Yeah, they keep calling it the kingdom or whatever, the planet. I can't. It was called like Iraq or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's like Iraq. It's like, come on, like it's sort of, it's got all the white savior stuff.
It's being handed to you, didn't you?
Yeah, just do it. It'd be awesome. Hyper serious Beastmaster, and
all right, I'm gonna throw right to our next clip here. What do you think you were like when you were this young?
I don't know. My brother and my dad say I was a pretty fun little kid. I wore, like a lot of big t-shirts that like went down to my knees. I had a really stupid haircut.
Uh-huh.
I lived in my head for sure. So I think something like this. Another thing I'm remembering now is when he like goes into the eagle. And it like they're like POV shots from the eagle's point of. I think there might be POV shots from every animal, which is very funny. Like because you're going to get everything from eagles to ferrets.
Sure.
Yeah. Another thing about this movie, I think the ferret industrial complex probably really profited from this because there was definitely a time where I was like, ferrets are the fucking coolest. Like if you meet a guy with a ferret, that's like you're like hanging out with a real dude. And now I realize that it's for like 20-year-old high school seniors that sell their parents medication, like that's the guy that has a ferret, it's like probably listens to Slipknot still,
But you think that this movie might be brought to you by Big Ferret?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Cause they come off very cool.
Yeah, they do.
They come off awesome. He like keeps them in a little pouch and then like they like go and bite people and shit. It's like pretty badass.
Did watching this make you think about young Jeremy and his oversized t-shirts with his dumb haircut?
Yeah, a little bit. I was actually last night. I don't know. I stayed up so late and I put on Step Brothers just because.
I did that last week. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And there's definitely a shirt that Will Ferrell wears in it. That's like, like one of those like wildlife, like it's like a painting of like a raccoon, like in a tree or whatever. And I was like, I 100% had that shirt, but instead it like came down to my shins, like, yeah, I did. I was talking. I did confirm that my fiance would leave me if I got a ferret. So
I feel like
out.
Again, we have to like acknowledge like the era of this was when ferrets were really the pet to have.
But I think this was responsible for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this may have spearheaded this huge boom in getting ferrets, like kind of culminating at the end of this decade with Schwarzenegger having a ferret in Kindergarten Cop.
Oh shit, that's right.
Like he couldn't let the Beastmaster have his day in the sun. He had to steal.
That's fucked up.
What a dick. I can't wait until we do that because that's already been on at least one submitted list.
Nice. I saw like half of it when I was really drunk over Christmas, and I actually thought it was pretty awesome. Wait, there was shit. Never mind. I'm trying to think of it.
Did the ferret still play as cool to present day Jeremy as they did to Little J-Bone?
Well, I think that just my fiance told me that her ex, who's much older than me, and that so he's very much a grown person, had ferrets, and they would crawl under the sheets and bite the backs of their knees and like their ankles and shit. I'm like, why would you have this? Like, what the fuck, man? So
I kind of want to out him, but I'm not going to.
So wait,
probably shouldn't.
And the ferrets were what destroyed Mayex, correct? Like that's what Mayex kind of eventually was susceptible to. Was the bite of a ferret? I think
yeah. Sorry, go on.
how do they? Okay, so one of them dies.
Yeah,
One
One of
falls in
them
the
dies
fire.
taking out Mayax. Yeah,
One of them dies taking out Mayax, but the other one was
was
pregnant.
the female and had ferret babies.
Mhm.
Had ferret babies. Okay. I mean, it feels like for a Beastmaster who calls these creatures his friends, like that really clunky explanation I think he gives to John Amos, who we really haven't talked too much about.
Yeah.
But he gives that clunky explanation about the relationship he has with the animals, but he is constantly endangering their life
Yeah,
He's
for
pretty
for
cavalier
his
about their
missions,
well-being.
right? For what he to advance his position in life, he asks these animals these things. It is not reciprocity.
Mm-mm.
You know, the eagle is not asking the Beastmaster to come help save like an eagle village.
Mhm.
That
Well, that
would be
might
awesome,
be
though.
Beastmaster 5. You know,
Yeah, it's definitely not 2.
no,
no, and maybe we should talk about that too a little bit.
we will.
But,
Yeah, I've got it down the rundown. Yeah,
yeah, very, very strange kind of one-way street here with the
Mhm.
Beastmaster. I felt like every time like there was an explanation needed in this movie, it was like first take, first draft, like let's just
Yeah.
have one line or two about it and move on.
because we don't want to bog down the movie in lore.
Yeah,
I mean, even John Amos, let's talk about him a little bit as
sure.
kind of the, what would you call him, like the muscle or the right
Yeah,
hand
he'd
man?
be
There's-
he'd be like the head of the Centurion Guard for his father or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
little bit of a pause when he needs to kind of describe the relationship with the young boy.
Yeah, with Tal.
Oh, yeah, and we
who's
haven't
ultimately Dar's brother. Yeah,
When they show up together, I was like, "Ooh, this is
weird.
this optics on this are a little." And then we find out that I'm fucking forgetting her name, but Tanya Roberts and Dar are
And
what?
Tal.
They're
Tal
Tal.
and Dar are, but Tal has a different mother.
but no, she's the king's niece.
She's the king's niece, but it could be through marriage with the second
Because
queen.
Dar's mom died.
Dar's
so
mom died in
okay.
childbirth, so it
So
could be.
So you guys
Tal
are
is-
arguing against incest in the Beastmaster?
I'm just saying it's
I think that's a
possible
losing
it's not
bet.
incest.
So Jeremy, if King Zed remarries, right, has Tal
Mhm.
as a child, but Tal's mother is
her
unrelated,
sibling,
right?
her sibling would have.
So
yeah.
so Dar
could-
would be his own grandpa.
Yes, Dar is his own grandfather. Yes,
Got it.
Also, like
and step uncle.
nobody went through. I believe the god that they pray to, at least Mayax, is called R.
God, good
So you
fucking
have a
God.
Dar.
I didn't have subtitles, so I don't
You have
know.
a Dar, you have a Tal, you have a Zed. You have these names. Yeah, you really do need subtitles to kind of keep track.
Yeah. Like people always talk about like how is it Milch who did Deadwood?
Uh-huh.
They're always like how he would rewrite stuff on set and how
Yeah.
amazing it is, and then you like when you watch other things that feel like that, it's not in a good
Yeah,
way.
where it's not a
Like-
genius, where it's not like some
Yeah.
weird fucking savant doing it.
Right. That's
I mean,
like
Milch would like lay down in the middle of the room, and the writers would have to like write what he was saying. They would transcribe what he is fucking saying. He'd lay down in the dark in his office, coming
Yeah.
back from Santa Anita after having blown hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he would lay on the fucking floor and just recite the fucking script to the room.
and it's like you can imagine Coscarelli doing that just with staggeringly different results.
Impossible broken English.
He is first. He does
Okay.
speak English as his first language. I
Okay.
watched
Again,
some interviews with him.
I'll
He
presume-
directed Bubba Hotep.
Awesome movie.
A presumption that I made while watching the terrible opening credits for this movie. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Italian director.
Sure, yeah,
Um,
obviously.
Probably a language barrier.
Don is his title, not his first name.
And those opening credits.
Yeah, very bad. They're
They were
very-
incredibly
Very television like in a way.
Yeah.
And they
Um,
kept going back. Like they had one good picture of the tiger kind of growling, and they used it like 6 times in those opening credits.
yeah, they did. I forgot about that.
So obviously, Big Ferret sunk its teeth in here. What do you think the Beastmaster had going for it that resonated so hard with a 20-year-old high school senior selling their parents' medication?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like you go to school and people are mean to you, and you're like, I just wish I had a friend that was a tiger that could eat them.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
way healthier than thinking about doing, the other
Sure. Right.
school shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you might as, an eagle to claw your science teacher's eyes out when he like is being a shithead, like I think that's awesome. That's like the thing that does still resonate with me about the movie is that it's like, especially for like, well, maybe not if you're 20, but if you're 9 or 10, this movie is like, yeah, it's so much fun. Even though it does have 2 endings for some reason.
Oh God, we'll get there. Um, so, you expressed your intense disappointment in the sequel to this film, Beastmaster 2 Through the Portal of Time, where they dropped the article at least. There's no the anymore because no one calls this the Beastmaster. Everyone calls this Beastmaster. But Through the Portal of Time, where did it take Dar, Jeremy?
Beverly Hills, baby.
LA of 1991.
I guess you can just drop in the Weezer track if you people are unfamiliar.
I will not. Did you know that there was a third, even shittier installment in 1996, the made-for-TV Beastmaster 3, The Eye of Braxis?
I don't think I didn't know that until today when I was looking at the Wikipedia page.
Did you know there was a syndicated TV series in 99 that I believe went for 3 seasons?
That's wild.
Where Dar was recast and his backstory was changed, but Singer eventually returned as a character named... And if I were looking at this, I would pronounce it Dart Anus. But apparently it's pronounced Dartanus.
Okay. So Dart Anus comes.
Dart Anus, Dar.
And Mark Singer is in Masters of the Universe, right? Is that correct?
No, that's
Dolph.
Oh,
Dolph. Yeah,
Oh, fuck. What else is Singer in?
pretty much this.
Nice.
It seems like a guy without looking into it.
I mean, he's a character actor in a bunch of shit, but
TV stuff, right?
I mean, he's also like he's some rando in Eagle Eye. He has other credits, but it's mostly B movie shit.
I feel like him and Sorbo should do like a Barbarian Brothers style.
Are you gonna wish for Sorbo to be foisted upon Mark Singer?
I just think they would.
His politics are terrible.
No, oh yeah. I mean, but it'd be kind of fun if they did.
Do we know Mark Singer's?
Yeah, I feel
They
like
can't be as bad as Sorbo's. We don't
Sorbo's
hear
is
about
in-
Mark Singer. So,
Sorbo's in all those like Shapiro produced fucking
yeah.
I don't know if he's literally in one of those, but it's the same vibe. I don't know. I just think
I mean, he's always on like OWN, right? OAN.
Oh, probably. He's just a fucking loser.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to the next clip here. I asked you how old you thought you were the last time you saw this.
It came up on Vinegar Syndrome did a big release for this in one of their, not Steelbook, but they did a very highfalutin release for this. And I considered getting it because I was like, again, this is another sort of brain problem I have where I just buy shit.
Yeah.
Like that. Because I'm like, fuck it. Why not? What else am I going to do with my money? But I slept on it. So I don't know. It could have been 30 years ago. I'm guessing 30, because when we worked at the place that won't be named.
We can talk about it. I've talked about it before.
Oh, okay, yeah. When we worked at that fucking shithole Spider House,
yeah.
The video store that we had the free account at, I Love Video. I don't think I ever rented it there, but the amount of drinking we were doing at Spider House and the amount of movies I was watching with the free account from I Love Video, there's a lot of stuff I saw while I was borderline blacked out. So
yeah, but as far as you remember, you probably haven't seen it in 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years.
Were there any moments where you had a flash that you had in fact watched this while hammered in the mid-aughts?
I wish, but no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there were the Ring with the eyeball that came back to me pretty hard. And then when Kodo, whatever saves the day at the end, and then that Phil Ferret just drops right into the fire. It was sad. Very sad. I was wondering if one of the motivations for Coscarelli behind making this is an intense hatred for Hare Krishnas. because of all those guys running around in the robes. I was like, maybe he just got like panhandled one too many times in like
Yeah.
the airport and was like, fuck this.
And which was so much more prominent in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine not donating to a Hare Krishna and then watching them throw a hook into the ceiling and hang themselves?
It's pretty intense. I'm surprised. Yeah, we didn't comment on that. I had to rewind that and watch it again. I was like, what just happened?
Because
like,
of how awesome it was?
just
showing
Or trying to register it.
King Zed true power. Yeah.
yeah, I just like it was just a disturb. I was like, is that really what happened? And I was like, yep. They just
Right in front of the Butterfaces.
yeah, the Monets. Oh,
Did this make you reconsider buying the best available box set Ad Vinegar Syndrome? It is in stock
No.
right now, BT Dubs, 4K.
oh no.
You don't want the
That
4K Ultra HD new edition of Beastmaster?
No,
There's
sir.
a lot of extra footage.
There's
I mean,
something that I think works a lot better on a VHS with a movie like this. You don't want to see it too clear.
Yeah. I mean,
I think-
I would honestly be interested in seeing the interviews that are on the but no, I would not.
Because there was a lot of contentiousness between him and the financiers. They kicked him out of the edit.
I would be interested in sort of a director commentary.
I'd want a
kind of
director's
special
cut because
feature.
this lags because of those guys. He had a much shorter cut, and they thought that it should be longer.
It is way too long.
They told the editors to add more to every scene, like to add more length to every scene.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That's what happens when you have someone who's not the fucking like creative vision behind something, like coming in and basically kicking the fucking director out of the edit and like overriding them when they don't have like an actual creative vision.
Yeah, when I like clicked on I was like on Prime or whatever, and I opened the movie or whatever yesterday afternoon, I saw it was 2 hours long. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 85 minutes tops.
And you're watching it and you can tell where shit needs to be cut. And you're like, oh no, if it were, and I suspect that the reason it's popular is actually because, or the reason it was so popular is because the TBS cut, would have been fit into 2 hours. And so they cut like fucking 28 minutes.
Yeah. It does move faster than I thought it was going to. It didn't feel quite as tedious to watch as I expected at that runtime.
Given the runtime, yeah.
But it's also like kind of perfect for like 8-year-old brain where you just like play with your action figures during, for like the middle 45 minutes. And then
Like
just wait
this is 2 minutes shy of 2 hours.
Yeah.
It needed to be like a 90, like a flat 90.
Yeah.
We could have got everything taken care of in 90. Of the Beastmaster movies, it is the longest. Beastmaster 3 is which is that direct to video?
It was made for TV. You can watch it on YouTube.
That's the briefest of all of them at 92 minutes.
I mean, 2 should be an epic. It should be hours long.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, if it's, I don't know if we're gonna ever get to 2, but is it just kind of fish out of water buffoonery?
Yeah, I remember there's a scene where the villain goes to the mall that's like really good. It's like Bill and Ted-ish, but like way stupider.
But Bogus Journey, not the first one.
Hey, I like Bogus Journey. I haven't seen that since
I haven't seen that since the theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that the Easter bunny thing in that scared the shit out of me.
All right. So when asked what it was about the Beastmaster that appealed to young Jeremy, you said
the whole thing was awesome. Yeah, the idea that you're like fighting evil with a bunch of like little critters as your team that's so cool. I'm not joking. I'm
I know,
not
I
being
know, I
ironic
know.
here. Like, that's badass.
Yeah.
If I could do that now, like, if you were walking through the park and saw some guy being mean to some people and you could get a bunch of squirrels to go jump on his ass and take him out, like, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
I still think it's cool. um,
Be honest. Have you tried communicating psychically with any animals since rewatching this to see if you too are a Beastmaster?
Well, I think the place I would use that ability the most is at work. And unfortunately, I'm in like a cubicle in the back of a library, so there aren't a lot of animals around for me to control. Because, I would like to send like a bear into the break room and just have him tear it apart
Sure.
just for my personal amusement.
Yeah.
Or yeah, so no, I haven't. So a couple years ago, this was like during COVID, and I think like a lot of people, I had some unhealthy habits right when that started. I was just drinking a lot. I remember at one point being in my backyard with my dog, and it was like pitch dark out, and we're just standing, and I look down at him, and he looks at me, and the thought just popped in my head. I was like, in 20 years, there's going to be one-to-one communication with dogs and people. I was like one like. I don't know why, but just like I was like, dogs will be able to talk soon.
Now, was
And,
this power and mission as appealing to you on rewatch as it was to you as a kid?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
I definitely think pet owners would tell you like they have a communication with their animal.
Yeah, but that's because they're insane.
Well,
I just alienated every fucking pet owner listening.
Yeah.
having not been a
Fuck
pet
you.
owner much of your life, Josh.
Virtually none of my life.
Yeah.
Do you have pets, Sean?
No, but not right now. But I lived with dogs for many years in different, capacities. And I loved them all. It was great to have a dog in the house. I have a small apartment in New York, so it would be tough here. But
Yeah.
I love having a dog. But I think that this is. I mean, I'm not a big D&D guy, but D&D is really big. I think in this time we're starting to get really big around the mid 80s. The Beastmaster, I think, would be classified as a ranger. Somebody who's able to kind of control animals. It doesn't feel like we quite know if he is asking them to do these favors or if he's just willing them.
Right. That's
Yeah. Are they slaves to him, or is there like an arrangement? There's this bartering. Again, something that we're missing a little bit in the fine print.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't. For the movie, if the movie's going to be 2 hours long, you think that they might?
Well,
Take the time
Coscarelli
to-
didn't want it to be 2 hours long, though. He wanted it to be like 90 minutes.
But even if it's 90 minutes, like I go back to what Jeremy says about how, like, that's the coolest part of this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a sword killing fucking bad dudes everywhere you look, especially in this decade, but certainly leading up to this too. The guy communicating with animals to have them be part of the team, not as much, right? That doesn't really come up. You could have leaned into that so hard. I mean, even what if he has an insect communication ability and we
Right.
get one of these Hare Krishna guys swarmed with ants or something? Granted, it would look fucking terrible.
It always comes back to that fucking MacGyver episode, Trumbo's Army.
I haven't thought about that. Oh my god.
what if he has? There's nothing in the rivers or the oceans that we get to kind of see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he gets the fish to steal the clothes of Kiri
Ooh,
and
yeah.
her friend. Also,
Well,
it
is he Aquaman though? Like, does the air and the water, like, is there a line of demarcation between the two where, like, you can?
He's not the
into one or the
land
other?
beast master, Josh.
Yeah.
He's the
Well,
beast master.
Also, I mean, humans are animals. Like what's
Yeah.
what's the cutoff here?
Yeah.
You know?
I
Let's not answer that question.
It is very, maybe he, yeah. I also think like it's worth noting that he's this young kid kind of adopted by a villager, right? Like when he's about to be sacrificed.
Yeah,
He also gets that brand from the witch.
Oh yeah.
But I could not think of Nexium when he was getting that.
Yuck.
He is now a slave of Keith Renier.
He's DOS.
Yeah. I bet Keith Raniere likes this movie.
Oh, I bet he loves.
Oh, there's
this
no
movie.
way
Yeah.
he doesn't. He makes all of his DOS girls watch this.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Keith Raniere thinks of women as his beasts.
Right.
Yeah,
He
for
is
sure.
the Beastmaster. only.
But like, yeah, kind of raised, in this pious upbringing, right? Like his father figure seems just kind of a man of the village. Also, terrible defenses of that fucking village, by the way. Like the flimsiest gate. For no reason, they're on loose stilts, these homes. And he's like
To protect from flooding.
the first horse
Yeah.
that comes into the village, he completely destroys his Dar's foster father. But like, where did Dar pick up how to be a fucking sleaze? Like, how?
That's just
Where did
that's natural.
That's just
Yeah.
imprinted.
He's a man.
Well, I
Dude.
think it's probably imprinted from the beasts, right? Like he
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
so he's
That's
so,
that's from the ferrets. Yeah.
Mhm.
he is so skeezy when it comes to
Dude.
Kiri. Like, I'll accept a kiss as payment, is what he says, which
And
just
then-
seems like a fucking like Texas oilman at a steakhouse, like
Ugh.
trying to get something from a waitress.
Yeah.
And is it when they're on the raft that like Seth
Uh-huh.
and the kid are kind of they're like,
Oh,
hell yeah. They're like, go for it, bro.
Get it, go get it, Tall says. So I I asked if you
I know my cousin.
yeah.
She's pretty loose.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. You got this,
now
bro.
apparently on set, Tanya Roberts would flirt with the actor playing Tall just to irritate Mark Singer,
Wait, which one's tall?
the kid.
The kid?
His
Ew.
half brother.
Amazing.
Gross. Who's in like a
but
diaper
the kid was
for
like, the kid was like, "Oh, I love the attention."
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
From Tanya Roberts, yes, absolutely. So I asked if you thought this informed your lifelong choice of being, or for a long time, choice of being vegan, then vegetarian, and finally pescatarian. You think you didn't, or you didn't think you had any proof of this, but that you felt good saying yes. Was there anything this time around that was able to push the scale further into the affirmative?
Not necessarily. I don't see the connection.
Jeremy, come on. We just talked about this. If he had two fish friends named Gil and Frill, you would not be a pescatarian.
Yeah, for sure. Finn and Gin. I don't really see it. No. But well, I mean, it's all in the ether, right? It's all coming from the same same soup. So sure, yeah.
Now, you also said that you hadn't talked to a therapist about this or the Beastmaster in general. Do you think you have any reason to think that maybe you should talk to a therapist about the Beastmaster now?
Well, I don't act like Dar does when I'm around attractive women, so I think that I dodged that bullet. I don't need to work through that part of it.
Do you think there's any deeper psychic damage, though, that this movie might have done in other areas?
Maybe losing that ferret at the end.
Okay.
It's just there's some deep loss there.
Okay.
The confusion that comes with having two endings in this movie probably like gave me some sort of bizarre identity.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah. How fucking easy would it be to fix that? And we're obviously kind of going. We're jumping into the fix this movie for today section, but this is the biggest problem with the movie. Is that there's another 20 minutes after what should be the ending of the movie.
Who even is the Batwing helmet guy? He's
one of the obviously he's one of the June Marauders, and
they fucking sure.
And they take out his village, but
he's a dad killer.
But so they sort of show that because when the June invade the village, Mayax comes in.
Oh, he's there.
They sort of they sort of head nod at the end. So like, why the fuck wouldn't you just at the climax of the movie have the Jum Marauders like acting in concert with fucking Mayax?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Instead, we wait another 12 hours. It's dark then because they have to be able to shoot an action sequence and have it be passable. So it's got to be dark. But like, what the fuck, man? Like, how easy would it be to just fix that and have them working in conjunction with one another?
It feels completely mismatched.
Yeah.
Like somebody, like two people were running down a hall with both had versions of the script, and they bumped into each other, and all the pages went everywhere, and they just like put them back together real quick. It's like what was I gonna say? Oh, I did think that the sort of like castle siege part where they're like the guys with the spiky arm things. I thought that shit was pretty cool. That part was fun. I can't.
The last like when they've already overthrown Max.
I think, you know what? It's so crazy. I watched this yesterday, and I can't like.
I mean,
I can't keep it in order.
With SVU episodes, I do this all the time.
Oh God, yeah, that shit is punishment.
Like I will seriously I'll be editing an episode that we recorded like a week ago, and have completely forgotten the entirety of the episode.
It's just like as it comes in, it just goes right back out.
Yeah, I know how long I need to keep that in my brain for, and the instant I can expel it, it's gone.
So yeah, what's in the back half of this movie? They show up at Mayax's place.
So they show up at Mayax's, they free his father, then they go out. His father fucking shuns him. He doesn't obviously know that Dar is his kid.
Right.
He thinks that Dar is
total
dead.
Asshole.
But he's a total fucking prick. Like you hear this guy, and then this guy like stubbornly is like, no, we're still gonna attack, even though the fucking eye ring, like even though we know what the eye ring was doing, and we stabbed the eye ring. And blow up the cauldron or
why
whatever.
would you continue?
Why would you still do the fucking plan? It's so fucking dumb.
A smarter move would be for Amos to recognize the eye ring and somehow communicate that they're gonna,
right.
Set up
misdirect. Oh, we're gonna fucking charge in 3 weeks, and instead it's the next day. That's the most asinine thing. There's also there was a sex scene that was filmed in. Obviously, I think they decided they were going for PG-13 or PG instead of R.
So there's full penetration, and they didn't want to get the X.
Yeah. But there was a sex scene that happens after Dar is like excommunicated from the group and goes off on his own. Kiri? Is that her name? Tanya Roberts' character.
I don't know why that name is hard. Like, then I guess the names are just all the same.
Yeah. So Tanya Roberts comes and drops robe. There's if you get the DVD, the Beastmaster DVD, it's on there apparently.
Wow. Okay. Oh, let me get on that.
So was this film comforting to you watching it as a grown-ass man? Because you said it was comforting as a child.
I don't know, man. I love the movies. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. I love the ferrets.
You love the
Would
oil.
you, Jeremy, would you go see this if play it on a big screen?
Yeah.
I think that'd be the best way to see this at this point.
See
if
it
I
in a
had
crowd.
to like work the next day, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I think seeing this in a crowd, seeing this in a theater, maybe a theater that sells alcohol.
Well, we've seen you and I have seen Conan the Barbarian together in the theater.
You do it like a draft house kind of situation.
You and I did, Sean.
Yeah.
I do think this is a cool movie. Like it's deeply flawed, but that's fine. It's fun for the whole family, really.
Did this make you want to play Beastmaster?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like, you mean right now? Like today?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put my loincloth on and go stand in my backyard for a couple hours after this.
This would be I know that you weren't meaning it in that way, but this would be a kind of a cool video game if you could control animals like and have to use them in different capacities in the game. You had ferret power, you had eagle power. It'd be great to have, a tiger and a bear too, but
it'd be great for LARPing too.
There really is so much you can do with this. Like that they really did not do. Yeah.
So I asked what your expectations were for returning to the film for the first time in so long. You talked about your evolving views regarding art over the past 5 years. Did you, as you suspected you would, think that this was good?
Yeah. Okay. I not good, obviously, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know. Stuff is so bad right now out there for the film goer. or really like any sort of, if you're, it's just rough for creative people in general. So to see something that has like its own, it obviously like it cribs from other things. Like it has the classic sort of, well, not really, but kind of the hero's journey thing going on. Like it's not like the most original movie in the world, but it's still cool.
You don't think they read
And-
Campbell before they wrote this?
And not closely. um, but yeah, I don't know. I would take this over any fucking Marvel movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, or, you know, and again, just seeing like real animals interacting with people is just, it feels so dangerous that alone is like, makes this worth watching, I think, is how
You would do it today with CGI.
all of
And
it.
that's what hurts kind of the
Yeah.
the respect for a movie like this, that they were
Right.
somehow able to pull this off with real animals.
Have you
trained or
guys
otherwise.
seen Roar?
I've seen Roar.
Holy shit.
And Roar is less about like a cohesive plot and more,
And
just
more about
like,
putting people in danger. And this is
Putting people in
Melanie
danger.
Griffith and fucking
Oh wow.
Tippi
Tippi.
Hedren. Like Tippi Hedren and her then husband directed this movie, and it's on YouTube. It was like it didn't get released for fucking 30 years basically. They shot it in 1980 or so, and it is fucking insane. They're just like in a house with fucking tigers.
more than
Awesome.
tigers too, right? Like there's tons of
Oh,
big
and
cats.
lions. Sorry, there's lions, tigers. Yeah. It's
There's-
just big cats left and right. There's like dozens of big cats, and there is no one on set to protect these people at all.
There's some story about how they're gonna shut us down. I'm just like, yeah, they should.
Well, and they're kept like so many people were hospitalized on this shoot. Like it's
That's so
again,
awesome.
Roar is on YouTube. Watch it. Holy shit! If you want to see people like really get like damn near killed by lions and tigers and shit, it's this.
Well, we're at this point now where like, yeah, we have CGI blood, CGI fire, and
Yeah.
it's just like that was like the new Roadhouse remake or whatever. I was like, dude, I could have enjoyed this, but all the fights are stitched together with CGI and it just looks fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It has no I don't know. I understand like there's benefits to, not having crew members die
It's
and
it's
shit.
it's no Dalton and Jimmy down by the lake.
No, you like I just don't know how you can expect a movie to have any staying power if there's like no
Yeah.
substance behind any of the, there's no thud.
Yeah.
There's no punch. It's rough.
Do you think you liked this more now than you might have 10 years ago? Because you, again, talked about kind of how, like you were a little more, I guess, sort of pretentious almost about
more stuck up.
about how you were taking and evaluating art.
You could have been
Yeah.
more cynical about Beastmaster 10 years ago, perhaps.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been taken in by this fucking pro ferret propaganda. No, yeah, I don't know. I probably just wouldn't have watched it. And again, it's hard for me. It is hard for me to watch movies like this right now because I really only have time to watch stuff with my partner, and this is a non-starter for her. So, I'm glad I had the opportunity to watch it for this.
Did you like it as much now as you remember liking it as a kid?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's like the way you watch movies as a kid is so different too, that you just like, at least for me, it was like half of the story would play out in my head. Like all of the questions that we have about like, what's his relationship with other, like, I'm sure that I had my own construction for all of that stuff in my mind. Cause I was like, I didn't care that it wasn't there. Cause I was like building it in my mind anyway. So, those sort of weaknesses didn't really matter as much.
Now, if you get in a fight it with your fiance, are you going to start pricing out ferrets
Oh yeah.
and like shower, like
Just to meet. Yeah.
just to
just
needle?
like, look,
Yeah.
tomorrow he's going to be here.
Do you know like do you have a good sort of source for ferret habitats?
Dude, I can't even entertain this. There's no, it would be so fucked up. I think a ferret would be so weird. It's just like, I don't know. they smell really. You have to get them like de-smelled,
Yeah,
right? It's like
Yeah.
that's not right. Let them be out there in the wild being smelly.
And if you have one, you might as well have two.
Well, you gotta have your poto to your kodo.
yeah. Do you feel like this was offensive in any ways?
Oh yeah, for sure. We already got Rip Torn's bizarre schnoz.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the way that he talks to Tanya Roberts is like
Yeah.
beyond repellent. Like, Sean, you had it right with like, it's very like big oil executive, like, hey, dollface,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's,
Come sit on the lap.
yeah, it's a bummer. It's
He's got,
like,
and he has such a voice for that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did feel like the way that his character sort of like vacillates between like a couple of different
Yeah.
things that are like, it's not
Kind of incongruous, yeah.
yeah, it's not very cohesive. And what else is John Amos in? I'm trying to.
well,
Well,
he would be coming to America, right?
Yeah.
Soon
Oh, hell yeah.
after this, as
and he's coming over from, wasn't he? He was in Good Times, right?
sure, yeah, I know less about his TV career, but the McDowell's manager where Eddie Murphy works.
Nice. I did love his one of his costumes, like his real warrior costume was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he looks great in this. Like
Yeah.
I kind of want him to have a bigger kind of career in this genre.
No, yeah, he's right for it for sure.
Yeah, he's the dad in Good Times,
Nice.
which is, Jimmy Walker, Dynamite, that show.
Dynamite.
I mean, that's the big thing he would have been known for before that, and then obviously after that it's whatchamacallit, Coming to America. He's in Die Hard 2 also.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's the kind of commando vigilante that's working with William Sadler.
Yeah.
Who you mentioned one of his movies a little bit earlier, Jeremy, Bogus Journey.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, he's Death, isn't he?
He's Death. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You sunk my battleship. That's all I
I
remember.
forgot they
It's like
play
my name.
Battleship and not chess.
They do. I think they play chess maybe first. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Bill and Ted can't handle chess. All right, so picking up the scraps here, is there anything we've missed so far that any of y'all want to talk about?
Man, I think we did a pretty good job, guys.
Yeah, we covered quite a bit. I mean, I just love it when he's like, my friends to the animals. That's just like one of my favorite things.
Now do my bidding.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say that Coscarelli fought with the financiers about casting also.
Yes.
He wanted Demi Moore to play Kiri, and they vetoed that. And they cast Tanya Roberts. And I think Tanya Roberts is great, but
Yeah.
Coscarelli wanted Demi Moore. It was also Mayax was supposed to be fucking Klaus Kinski.
That would have been insane.
That would have been so
But
much.
Kinski's salary demand was more than the budget of the movie. Coscarelli was like, okay, I'm going to find the money. This might have been early on too. This might have been before the financiers came in, but they couldn't make it work financially.
Do we know the budget on this thing?
Budget was $9 million. It made 14.1 reportedly. So it was a modest success that did not portend the influence that it would have because of TBS.
So Kinski wanted more than 9.
Well, that might have been when it was 4 million.
Okay.
But he definitely wanted at least more than 4 million because the extra 5 came through when they were in they were in Europe and got financing for another 5 million, which ended up being Coscarelli's largest budget.
Kinski's not going to get more than 4 million. So maybe it was just, I don't want to be involved in this thing. I'm going to say a fuck you number.
Yeah, yeah.
If they
I
do it.
am.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Torn head though, so I'm on board with his performance in this. I think he rules.
It's definitely it's definitely
I did watch that Maidstone meltdown clip with him and Mailer.
When he hits Mailer in the head with the hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it fucking rules.
Have you watched the entire thing where like them Mailer is like fucking biting his ear.
Yeah,
basically, almost
yeah, yeah.
off.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
nuts.
good. Yeah, he. I mean, I just have never had any use for Norman Mailer. Every time I like
Same.
his books are all like
The best thing he did was co-founding the Village Voice.
right. I just it's everything's all of his books are so long, and he's like I do have one of his movies. It was like super cheap. And I ordered Tough
Is it-
Guys Don't
Oh
Dance.
God, Jesus Christ,
So-
that is the fucking weirdest movie.
I'm psyched to watch that.
You haven't watched it
still-
yet?
No. I guess I should maybe I'll watch it tonight. But dude, when Torn whacks him in the head with the hammer,
Yeah.
it's
It's
the
awesome.
shit. There when I was in for some stupid ass reason, I went to journalism school at UT. And it was a total fucking nightmare. But there was a spot kind of tucked away where they had like a bunch of pictures of people on the wall of like famous people who've been through this program or through the RTF department. And there was Rip Torn was up there, and I would just kind of go and gaze at him and be like, give me strength to get me through my next class.
And you called him Mayax.
Yeah, Mayax, bless me or give me power.
But don't make me hang myself.
Please
Yeah.
don't make me.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Let's not go that far. But also, Mayax just sounds like something you take if you have diarrhea.
Yeah, it's the competitor from Malox.
Yeah.
I should note also that the filmmakers had arranged for Tanya Roberts to pose for Playboy to help promote the film, but she was in the October issue, and the film's release date was moved up in July to August from its initial Christmas Day release date, so that definitely did not help box office.
Yeah. It sounds like they really whiffed it all across the board.
Well, that was because fucking UA acquired domestic distribution rights. Like that wasn't on Coscarelli, and it sure as hell. I mean, I guess it's probably on the financiers who had kicked Coscarelli out of the edit. But all right, so do we have? Let's hit major gripes. Starting with our guest, and this isn't the fix this movie for today, but starting with Jeremy, what was your biggest gripe with the film this go around?
It's got to be the two endings.
Okay.
That's just something that in any movie that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like I don't like again as I've said, I don't mind like ineptitude is the last thing that will make me dislike a movie. Like if like unprofessionalism, something being a complete mess doesn't bother me, but this is one thing that I'm like, it's just so easy to make this not happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I mean, and you know, of course, all the rapey behavior,
Sure,
super awesome. But
Sean,
from a craft perspective, that's my
Along the same lines. I mean, I think one of my major things is missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, the ending thing is a fuck up, but the initial conceit of a guy who can communicate / control animals, we're scratching the surface with this movie.
You want more of that.
I want the whole movie to be like that. Even if it's 88 minutes, I want to know the capacity, the span.
Yeah.
Why? Just because of the cow thing? Just because he was
I mean, that's got to be it. But
in
it doesn't
utero
make
of a
sense.
cow?
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would it have been if he had found that cow? Or he had like
that's yeah, that'd be awesome.
a reunion in a pasture,
Yeah.
or even that like his ability with cows is stronger.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
we
want to
don't-
see cows just milking themselves.
Yeah, or
I don't know why that's really disturbing to me. It's deeply unsettling.
I mean, the huge jump that his dad makes, right? From like, oh, this bear kind of wandered back into the woods. Son, you have a gift. Like, wow, we're making some assumptions there, Pops. You know, like, and you must never tell anybody about this. This is our secret, our
why is
secret
it-
in the woods.
Why is it a source of shame?
Yeah, because
Oh.
he's gonna be vilified as a witch, well, or a wizard, because it seems like the wizard has a lot of power in this world.
Seems to be doing fine.
Yeah,
But
so
also
I just think like, if I'm a kid, if I'm a teenager, basically if I'm a man, like that's the shit that I want to fork over whatever the current ticket price is.
And to your point, like they made a sequel, and instead of doing any of that stuff, which totally makes sense, they sent him to fucking Beverly Hills.
Yeah, they fish
Like,
out of water him with time travel.
they're like, why don't we put him in like a
So he
convertible?
can communicate with like purse dogs.
Yeah. Beverly
Well,
Hills
that's the only way that he can
Beverly Hills
communicate with
Chihuahua was
Valley
actually
Girls.
a spin-off from Beastmaster.
And do the penis birdmen come back in that? I don't think they would.
Certainly hope so.
They're Hollywood execs.
They have no they have no
Bryan
respect.
Singer.
Yeah.
No respect for you unless you can prove you're a falconer or a master of eagles.
My major gripe is this movie needs more oil.
I think Mark Singer needs to go a different way too. If you're going to have a lead, he either needs to be really naive with women or way more charming. Like he needs to kind of be a Han Solo, or he needs to be.
He needs to not be Styles from fucking Teen Wolf.
Oh God, he's so gross. Yes.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
really.
Obviously, this predates Teen Wolf, but
granted, he's doing his planks.
yeah.
But he is the subject of a sexual harassment video that you have to watch at work.
He actually so in the scene that they were shooting where he's running up the creek and runs past the camera, he actually fucking tackled Coscarelli off camera and because Coscarelli's like in his director's chair, and so he fucking like knocks Coscarelli on his ass out of the director's chair, and like the whole crew's laughing, but Coscarelli's like, what the fuck is this? Like, is he fucking hazing me? They ended up being okay, but like very weird.
If I was Coscarelli and I'm directing this movie,
Fire him right there.
I would wonder why my lead actor is tackling me off camera for a joke.
And that's what it was. It was for a joke, but like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that's a great joke.
Great joke. Did you also like check?
That's like Donald Trump, like, telling comedy writers that the roast that they're writing for him, those aren't jokes, and then rewriting it to make it like intensely not funny.
Did Mark Singer also like shoulder check the goth kids in his high school into lockers because it's a joke?
Also a great joke. Timeless. Hilarious comedy.
I don't know who the goth kids of like the early 70s would be for Mark Singer, but probably hippies.
Yeah. That's fair. They're fair.
It's probably your parents, Jeremy, which is why they didn't want you to watch this.
Yeah.
They had personal beef.
Sick of getting bullied
by Mark Singer lookalikes.
Yeah.
So let's fix this movie for today. What would you do to have this really cotton to the modern film audience?
I just think the modern film audience fucking sucks. So nothing. They get this just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you did this movie, there wouldn't be any nudity. I don't think you'd go hard R with it. You would go family friendly. You probably put The Rock in it.
Yeah.
Every animal would be CGI'd. They might even have celebrity voices kind of do a VO for those animals. So you'd have
it would look like the Lion
Nathan Lane would be the voice of the lemurs.
Sure. Yeah, like the ferrets would be like Steve Buscemi, right? And whoever else, and they would have their own. Like, I don't think that you would CGI the mouth like Lion King style, but you'd probably
would you maybe instead of CGI you do it animated like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know.
More than CGI, they eat fucking animals.
If you're doing cartoon with live action, yeah, like I think because then you have to have actors rehearse their emotions and their acting with like nothing there, like the way Hoskins had to do it. Whereas now they don't have to do shit except for like maybe look at a tennis ball for line of sight. Everything is put in after them. So I think that this movie loses all of its novelty in having real animals on set. And gets kind of dumbed down to I mean, the best case scenario for something like this would be the rights are kind of picked up by either a European or a Southeast Asian film studio, and they go so hard into it.
Like
they go
super gore and shit.
Super like Sisu or something like that, right?
I don't know, man. Bring back Hoskins, have him play Dar, and make this play more like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That'd be cool.
I think the modern film audience needs more of him on top of that sort of like butte or whatever, swinging a large branch.
Yeah, he can really swing a branch.
Yeah.
He can swing his wood.
Oh, like
Crazy.
yeah,
That was
like
baffling to me. I was like, what is happening?
terrible sword play in this movie.
I think the modern film audience needs a much better like becoming the hero montage than this gave. It was very funny when he started swinging the sword for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think, Sean, I think you're right. This is like, if this got remade, it would be so tragic. But do you guys think, what do you think the odds are that it will get remade like in the next
Low.
10 years? Low.
Yeah.
They really got to run through a bunch more IP before they're subjected to this.
It's going to be such a much drier well than it already is before they come back to Beastmaster.
Well, they have already remade Conan.
Yeah, but Conan had way bigger box office, I think, than Beastmaster, and has had the longevity, and plus, had the star power. Just Mark Singer, for as much as teenage boys maybe wanted to be him, did not have, kind of stuck in between being like a giant Atlas body and then being a kind of swashbuckling, charming rogue who could be loved by men and women. This guy's just kind of Creepsville.
Okay, last bit before we say goodbye. Saving Graces. What was your favorite moment or element of the film, starting with Jeremy?
I mean, I do like when the ferret. I do think it's when the ferret saves the day at the end and then falls into the fire. Like, I mean, it's like when Omar dies in The Wire. Where you're
Ferret
like,
martyrdom.
oh wait, should I? No spoilers if you're somehow haven't seen The Wire yet.
I think 10 was that 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
But you have to, like, somebody has to die, and making it one of the ferrets, I think, was effective.
I mean, for me, I think Rip Torn probably just as a I don't really know Rip Torn out of being in a business suit and being wry and comedic. So for him to kind of play the heavy, it would have been fun to see him more in movies, kind of playing roles outside of his comfort zone. But yeah, I mean, even with the makeup, it's for me, seeing Torn do something like this is great.
I think you should see more 70s Torn. Maybe The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah, I need to see more Torn.
Is he in that?
More film Torn, certainly.
Yeah, I think his career got kind of derailed by some of his
he's difficult.
Being difficult, but he also was like, I think the FBI, he had like a very big FBI file for his like civil rights activism, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, he would have. There's a lot going on with him.
You know what I'd like to see him play J. Edgar Hoover. Let's do that.
With his reanimated corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Rip.
R.I.P. Rip.
Yeah. Pour one out for a real one.
Yeah.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P. fucking Tanya Roberts too.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sepsis from a UTI.
But Mark Singer's still going strong.
He sure
Good
is.
for him.
My favorite moment.
Don't pull something here, Josh.
Probably the child sacrifice.
Yeah. That is pretty galling.
Yeah. I'm into that. All right. So before we say goodbye to listeners at home, where can listeners find you, Jeremy?
I'm on Blue Sky,
Sure.
which I hate.
Yeah.
It sucks ass, but I'm there. It's under my name. That's where I post anything that I publish. So if you're for some reason interested in that, that's where that is. But really, my favorite thing online is my Letterboxd account, which I derive quite a bit of joy from being on there. So yeah, follow
And
me.
I said last week that you're my favorite person on Letterboxd.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, if you follow me, I'll most likely follow you back unless you're weird or creepy or something.
If your name is Joe Pito, probably not getting a follow back. But...
yeah.
Jeremy will immediately know by your name and your avatar if you're weird or creepy.
My creep dar is strong. Yeah,
it's creep dar.
Yeah, that's what he is. He is creep dar. Yeah,
way to tie it all together.
check out the band Cast of Thousands. That's my buddy's band. They're great. They're on Bandcamp.
You don't want anyone to check out Fleshlights or Dry
Guy. I mean, Dry Guy.
or...
We are technically still a band. Dry Guy. Yeah, we were.
Long Letters.
I don't know if Long Letters is accessible online anywhere.
Isn't it on Bandcamp?
Maybe, I don't know. That label folded in spectacular fashion. But yeah, Dry Guys out there. Fun Poachers. It's a bar that you have to be personal friends with the owner to ever even see the inside of. My friends up here are having their bar went viral. The Mothership in Milwaukee went viral.
Oh yeah, that place is awesome.
Yeah, for being closed during the RNC. So they're getting interviewed. Wait, I can't actually. I don't know if I should drop that. Anyway, but they got mentioned in Rolling Stone and shit.
Okay.
So that's pretty fun. If you're in the Milwaukee area, go to Mothership.
They have Campari on draft.
Yeah, they do.
Yep, drank a lot that one night with you.
Fuck
Pike.
yeah. I was there on Friday, and yep.
God, so much.
I still can't really drink like a Milwaukeean. I hope I never really learn how, but every now and then I try to keep up, and it has fucking disastrous consequences.
Yeah, Pike and I had like 13, 14 drinks that night. I mean, one of them's Campari, so it's not really a drink, but
yeah, that at least slow rolls it a bit.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, go to the Mothership if you're not going to Milwaukee for the RNC. Well, we are so glad that you were willing and open to subjecting your childhood to the possibility that we would ruin it here on the Unkind Rewind, Jeremy.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like it was fortified.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was ruined at all.
A true believer.
But actually, honestly, the more that we talk about it, I'm like, maybe this movie does suck.
And that's all the time we have.
But I like that. I like how it sucks. That's my closing thought.
Bad movies can have their charms.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. You can like how it sucks.
Yeah,
for sure.
That went a different way in my head just now.
As it does. As it does with you.
Yeah.
I can't shut that part of my brain off. All right. Well, thanks, listeners. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah,
thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a blast.
May Dar be with you.
You've just listened to another installment of the Unkind Rewind podcast, mining and potentially ruining your childhood for content, one film at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcast production and can be ingested wherever you listen to podcasts and on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate and review Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Yelp, IMDb, Consumer Reports, Google Reviews, and TripAdvisor. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @unkindrewindpod on nearly every social media platform that makes sense. If you had a question, concern, complaint, or positive feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com, or you can join the lively Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue with the pod may just make it into the next week's ep, so chat away. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to another Unkind Rewind.